And so, Sam, walk us through some of the analyst commentary and sort of the market's feeling with this Groq deal, which I initially read as a positive, but we've seen varying opinions, let's say, on that deal and their spend into 2026.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Jenny. We are seeing a bit of a mixed reaction. Obviously, we saw this headline coming out on Christmas Eve, and so we've had some time to digest that. We did see NVIDIA actually rallying up over 5% last week. We're seeing a pullback this morning in trade. There are two stories which is really driving the action today. Obviously, we have this Intel deal as well, but then we have this deal with Groq. So let me just run you through some of the analyst notes which have hit the desk this morning as far as what they're saying about this particular deal. I mean, for the most part, the reaction seems to have been positive, as you pointed out, Jenny. And so let me just run you through a couple of commentary, a couple of notes in the commentary here. UBS saying that this could bolster NVIDIA's ability to service high-speed inference applications. They remain bullish on NVIDIA shares heading into 2026. They expect the appreciation from here to be driven mostly by higher earnings. They've got a buy rating here, $235 price target there. Truist believes that this is intended to fortify its competitive positioning in inference versus the TPUs. While the $20 billion reported cost is significant, it sees it as small relative to its cash position and cash flow generation. So it says this could make its capabilities more appealing to high volume inference customers, because remember, this is more about the inferencing, not the training part of artificial intelligence. So that's the folks over at Truist where they stand on this. Now, the folks over at Citi, for instance, they say that this is a clear positive, were their remarks. They say that the company is addressing competition from the other inference architectures with a licensing deal that is more adequate to a full acquisition. They believe that it's worked around regulatory scrutiny to get this across the line, and also that Groq is still able to run as an independent company. Remember, this is not buying Groq. This is obviously the licensing, non-exclusive. So it's like, you know, we can date other people kind of situation. They also actually have a $270 price target, keeping a buy rating there. Stifel's got a $250 price target there too. They also believe that this could ramp up in conjunction with Rubin's stack system too, and they're pretty confident, enthusiastic, and think that this is pretty encouraging. And also Bernstein seeming to say that this is more of a grab for technology and human capital by NVIDIA than a straight purchase, because with the details of this agreement, as I said, a non-exclusive arrangement, but basically they're still going to be able to work with other companies. But as part of this, the Groq team will join NVIDIA to help advance and scale the licensed technology. That was according to the press release. But, you know, with this $20 billion reported price tag as well, that has raised some eyebrows in a market that was already questioning a lot of the financing around the AI and the whole data center type of narrative in the market right now, guys.
And I will say, to echo that, I mean, I've seen mostly really positive commentary regarding this, where it says it's not the outright acquisition of this company, that it's going to see more regulatory approval, perhaps, is something I've read. So we'll have to see if that does obviously play out, because we know that this regulatory environment, while expected to be an easier one under the Trump administration, has also still faced some hurdles. So I think great summation. Everything that we're seeing with NVIDIA really are.
As investors processed significant strategic pronouncements that sparked new concerns about capital deployment, NVIDIA's shares dropped more than 1.6% on Monday. A combination of year-end profit-taking and mounting doubts about whether the corporation is overspending on future technologies are reflected in the selling. Investor questions are heightened by strategic movements in NVIDIA's stock. On Monday morning, two announcements that raised worries about capital allocation clashed. Initially, Intel revealed that NVIDIA had acquired 214.7 million shares at a price of $23.28 per share in a $5 billion private stock acquisition. That is a substantial wager on a rival that is experiencing structural deterioration. Even while the chip industry as a whole is booming, Intel is seeing losses in market share. Investors questioned the reasoning right away. Given Intel's operational difficulties and secular headwinds, why would NVIDIA, which already has $60 billion in cash and short-term investments, put money into Intel? The Groq deal comes next. NVIDIA committed to its biggest deal ever, a $20 billion acquisition of Groq's inference technology and key executives, which was announced last week but intensified on Monday. The story is told via the price tag. In its most recent fundraising round, Groq was valued at between $6.9 and $7 billion. Thus, NVIDIA is paying almost 3 times that amount for assets and a license. Given that demand is already being fragmented by bespoke chips from Google and Amazon, market participants questioned whether NVIDIA is overpaying for a company whose core technology would not warrant a $20 billion premium. The issues with capital deployment are more profound. NVIDIA announced more than $140 billion in investments in 2025 alone. In addition to the Intel and Groq agreements, OpenAI is worth $100 billion, Anthropic is worth $10 billion, and Synopsys is worth $2 billion. According to analysts, NVIDIA's aggressive acquisitions and equity investments cast doubt on the company's decision to give shareholders more money in the form of buybacks or special dividends. Investors begin to doubt the returns on those bets in comparison to the value of money given to owners when a $4.6 trillion corporation continues to pour money into new projects. Moves are amplified by year-end selling and holiday liquidity. Pure market mechanics are at work, going beyond strategic considerations. Monday's drop occurs during the holiday week, when trade is at its lowest and volume is at its lowest. This can lead to disproportionate price movements. As institutional investors restructure their portfolios prior to 2026, NVIDIA's 41.92% year-to-date gain encourages profit-taking. It appears that part of the air has already left the balloon as the stock has dropped 11.37% from its peak of $299 in October. The larger context is also important. As investors reevaluate AI values as the year draws to a close, chip stocks are generally declining. This week is the Fed's policy minutes, and traders are keeping an eye out for any hawkish signals on interest rates that would reduce demand for growth stocks with stretched valuations. One common playbook tactic is year-end risk trimming, in which sellers lock in profits before the year ends. According to a report last week, NVIDIA would pay $20 billion to acquire AI semiconductor startup Groq, giving the GPU manufacturer access to the company's vital language processing unit/LPU chip design technology. The transaction, which surpasses Mellanox's 2007 deal value and is NVIDIA's largest ever, will allow the chipmaker to incorporate Groq's LPU technology into its growing inference stack. The purchase of Groq's assets by NVIDIA is a significant assault on Alphabet, which has been creating tensor processing units, or TPUs, which provide a quicker and more affordable means of managing massive AI workloads. The transaction is noteworthy in additional respects and may serve as a catalyst for NVIDIA's stock to rise into a new upward trajectory. In my previous video on the chip manufacturer in November, I gave shares of NVIDIA a strong buy rating due to the remarkable possibility offered by sovereign AI, which I consider to be the next frontier of growth for the chip design industry. I think the merger might be big, especially in light of the Vera Rubin GPU launch in the second half of next year. A few days ago, NVIDIA revealed that it was acquiring Groq, an AI chip design business that could help NVIDIA improve its inference skills. Essentially, NVIDIA's acquisition of Groq is a significant victory for the business in the competition for AI expertise, and it may help NVIDIA prepare for future increases in demand for expensive, high-bandwidth memory solutions. Why Google is being directly attacked in NVIDIA's biggest deal ever. In December, the AI chip startup Groq and NVIDIA signed a non-exclusive licensing deal that will see the company pay $20 billion for Groq's LPU chip design technology. With Jonathan Ross, the founder of Groq, taking over as head of NVIDIA's ultra-low latency business, the company's top executives will also join NVIDIA. Ross was the primary developer of Google's tensor processing units, so NVIDIA is losing a significant competitor in the inference market as a result of the acquisition. NVIDIA paid over 3 times as much as the startup was valued at in the last Series E fundraising round, which was about $6.9 billion. Google has been successful in getting businesses like Meta and Anthropic to use TPU V5P and V6 chips in their own AI operations, and TPUs have recently seen some strong adoption momentum. Unlike GPUs, which are primarily made by NVIDIA and advanced micro devices, TPUs are made for difficult operations and have a lot less power consumption. Groq has grown into a multi-billion-dollar startup, mostly due to its extremely fast chip designs, which hyperscalers highly value. The use of on-chip SRAM rather than external memory high-bandwidth memory, which enables noticeably faster data speeds, is a crucial component of Groq's chip designs. Static random access memory, or SRAM for short, is sometimes called a fast lane, since it can carry far more data than GPUs, which are primarily designed for training. Groq's LPUs are unusual in that they can transfer data at up to 80 terabytes per second because of their chip designs, which enable instantaneous data access. This makes them ideal for businesses that require processing power for inference. Therefore, the acquisition is significant for NVIDIA since using Groq's semiconductor designs achieves several goals. NVIDIA gets rid of a significant competitor that invented TPUs, which Google and other hyperscalers utilize. In order to dodge regulatory scrutiny and delay the purchase, NVIDIA is relocating Groq's key workers to NVIDIA and purchasing the majority of the company's technology, but not its cloud operations. NVIDIA increases the value of its processors in the future and makes its CUDA environment more appealing. By using on-chip SRAM, the chip design company is also protecting itself from the use of high-bandwidth memory that is becoming more and more costly. This could eventually improve margins. NVIDIA actively challenges Google's TPU's speed and efficiency by incorporating Groq's LPU technology into its ecosystem, greatly improving the CUDA platform's value proposition. NVIDIA's whole software platform and programming style, known as CUDA, enables users to access the company's hardware and software stack and take advantage of low-latency inference-optimized CPUs. Inference running models is replacing training creating models in the AI sector. Groq's LPU architecture, which use high-speed SRAM rather than the industry-standard high-bandwidth memory, or HBM, is far faster and more energy efficient than NVIDIA's GPUs, which are the industry standard for training. Additionally, the addition of LPUs removes the need for costly and complicated memory controllers, so a gradual switch to LPUs may benefit NVIDIA's GPU manufacturing margins. Therefore, the use of LPUs suggests that NVIDIA may be able to retain a larger portion of its earnings for each chip it sells in the future. This implies that NVIDIA may eventually improve its gross margin profile even more. The popularity of NVIDIA's CUDA technology among hyperscalers is largely responsible for the company's already far higher gross margins than AMD. Since Groq's LPU chip designs can be integrated into the Rubin GPU line, which is slated to arrive in the second half of next year, the acquisition improves NVIDIA's overall value proposition of its complete software and hardware AI stack. As NVIDIA serves both the training and inference side of the AI-driven LLM business, the company may become an even more dominant force in the AI chip industry. The value of NVIDIA. In my perspective, NVIDIA is still significantly undervalued in terms of earnings because the chip design firm's PE ratio is significantly lower than AMD's. The Groq purchase appeals to me even more because NVIDIA is now far less expensive due to recent tech market consolidation. With its current forward price-to-earnings ratio of 25.2x, NVIDIA's shares are roughly 24% less expensive than AMD's. AMD is trading at a forward PE ratio of 33.3x, which I think is high. The company's shares had a huge breakout to the upside after the OpenAI agreement announcement in September. If the chip design company improves its gross margin profile, resumes high-margin H20 GPU shipments to China, and incorporates Groq's LPUs into the Vera Rubin GPU line, I think NVIDIA's shares might eventually return to a 30x plus PE ratio. A 30x price-to-earnings ratio suggests that NVIDIA shares are worth $227. As I mentioned above, I anticipate that NVIDIA will revalue to more than 315 share in the long run, mostly because, to a large anticipated FCF uplift enabled by faster shipments of Vera and Blackwell GPUs. NVIDIA risks. The acquisition of Groq's LPU chip designs serves as a buffer for NVIDIA against a future shortage of costly HBM, which reduces investment risks. Furthermore, NVIDIA will be more competitive in the field of inference, rather than just training as a result of its acquisition of Groq's technology. If NVIDIA failed to increase its gross profit margins, or if H20 shipments headed for China failed once more, I would have a different opinion of the firm. Concluding remarks. With the integration of ultra-low latency architecture straight into their 2026 Vera Rubin processors, the NVIDIA Groq acquisition is a major assault on Google's TPU leadership and might help NVIDIA increase its dominance across the full AI lifecycle. The chip design company's capacity to compete in the inference space is greatly increased, and the value proposition of its CUDA ecosystem is strengthened by including LPU logic into its own planned Vera Rubin architecture in 2026. Additionally, the agreement is cleverly constructed so that Groq retains its cloud-based computing platform while NVIDIA avoids a complete acquisition. Even after the deal with Groq, I still favor NVIDIA shares and would advise investors to take advantage of the tech market downturn. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.
Members of the Magnificent Seven are no longer trading as a team, and the gaps could widen in 2026. Mackenzie Sigalos joins us now with more. Hey, Mac.
Hey, Leslie. This was the year the market stopped trading the Mag 7 as a monolith and started separating winners from losers based on who can actually monetize their AI bets. Let's start with the winners. Alphabet, with a 60 percentage point lead, has street cred across the stack. Its AI chip, cloud distribution, and then its LLM Gemini. It has been topping key benchmark tests. NVIDIA is up more than 40% and now the world's most valuable public company because it remains the backbone of this year's record-breaking data center build-out. Now to the laggards. Amazon still has the biggest cloud business, but AWS is growing more slowly than Azure and Google Cloud. The bet is that its in-house AI chip Trainium wins on cost, but adoption hasn't matched the momentum that investors see in Google's custom chip ecosystem. Now, unlike its hyperscaler peers, Meta does not have a cloud service and lacks a clear revenue story tied to its AI investment. They say the benefit shows up in ads, better targeting, better performance, but that's a harder ROI story for the market to underwrite. And then there's Apple. It's largely been sitting out the infrastructure battle, betting that distribution wins by owning where consumers actually use AI. And it may be near the bottom now, but if model quality keeps converging, distribution could matter a lot more than who trained the best LLM. Guys?
So then, Mac, you think the gap will widen into next year. Why is that? What is kind of priority number one for the market to see from each of these next year that could kind of cause that fracture to extend even further?
It all has to do with the CapEx spend. It topped $400 billion for the top hyperscalers this year. 75% of that will go into AI infrastructure build next year. It's going to top $600 billion, according to some estimates. And you've got Apple at the other end of the spectrum spending around $3 billion in its most recent quarter. And what that points to is that if they're going to be spending at this magnitude and taking on a lot of debt to facilitate that build, they're going to want to see a return there. And that's why Google is outperforming, because of the fact that it has a really competitive cloud business that's coming up. People are very excited about its chip program. So that spend seems worth it when they're landing new cloud contracts with the likes of Meta and Anthropic, whereas you're looking at forward projections of revenue and you've got Amazon lagging Microsoft there. So Azure's got a $400 billion future performance obligation lineup versus $200 billion for Amazon. That shows where enterprises are betting.
Right. Just a greater microscope, again, on that ROI component. Thank you, Mackenzie. Appreciate it.